welcome to another episode of Bitcoin Wednesday. I'm your host, Brian, and with me is my co-host. Let's see if I can get him up here. Where are you?
I'm here.
Where are you? Oh, I got to take mine off solo. There he is. There he is. Very good. Welcome back. How are we doing tonight, Vance? You hear me?
I hear you.
How are we doing tonight?
Good.
Good. So it's been 2 weeks since we did the show. Last week I was out of town and taking care of my wife's birthday party. So was not able to do it. We were in Las Vegas, Nevada. It was 114 degrees.
Hey, join me.
Thank goodness, we went down to see a concert. It was in the same hotel. So we got into the parking garage. We got into the building. We never left the building until we left the next day. So quick trip, but it was my wife enjoyed it a lot.
That's good.
We'll leave it at that. So anyways, good to be back. We had a lot of stuff to talk about last week too. We tried to do the show Thursday and it just didn't work out. And then we thought we'll try to do it on Friday and that didn't work out. And so we just scrapped it and we're back this week and hopefully everybody's doing great. Man, we got a few things to talk about. A lot has happened in the last 2 weeks, Vance.
Yeah.
The market's gone crazy.
That's
not in a good way.
The crazy part, I know.
Not in a good way. I cannot believe what's happened. I was just looking at, see if I can get the market cap up on my computer because it's a little slow. But 2 weeks ago when we did it, the total market cap was $260 billion. I'm waiting to pull up right now, but
$203
billion right now.
203.9 billion. Yeah, 204.
That's crazy. What happened? I know you're all knowing, so just tell us. Explain to us.
I'm not all knowing.
Not
even close. Not even close. But basically, I think there's just a lot of over exaggeration. I think with the way the market swings right now, and I think there a lot of it. I mean, 2 weeks ago, if you think about this, we really started the downward motion 2 weeks ago again, and it was right after the ETF was waylaid. So I think there was I don't know. I just think there was an over exaggeration,
a lot of hype to build up to it.
Hype and the reality of what happened. So I don't know. And kind of seems the consensus with talking with a few other guys, but that's kind of where it's been. It's just they expected higher, and then when it didn't, there was a lot of loss of faith, and right now we're seeing that across the board with just the crypto environment, the crypto world out there. There's just I don't know a lot of murmuring, a lot of doubt, uncertainty, the whole works just because it's been down so much.
Yeah. It's and it's down a lot. I mean, I think we got to the point where people were thinking we maybe had already hit the bottom, that it was over, starting to come back up, which it did. We went down to the $5,000 range or whatever, and it went back up to 8,500, something like that. Excuse me, I gotta take a drink. But then it fell back down and started coming back up again a little bit.
Yeah, and then yesterday, I was kind of hoping yesterday was the bottom. I don't know. So I don't know. Let's put it this way: Bitcoin yesterday passed 6,000 again. It dropped under $6,000 by about $10. All right. I mean, it was $5,985. Right. It passed it a little bit, and our market cap was down to about 180 billion when that happened. So I mean, there was a real big drop, and a lot of the stuff we've heard. I mean, I've seen lots of interviews with There's a guy out there named Willie Woo, who's a market analyst. He's a professional market analyst, and basically he's saying the same thing, that we're going to hit like $5,700 Bitcoin before the bulls come and we turn and go back. And so we got down. We got like what's that?
Which we kind of thought we might have, it didn't quite hit 50, it didn't get down that low, but we thought
700, but it did.
Maybe we hit it.
It did get into we broke 6,000 into the 5,000 range. So that's really, what I don't know. I don't know if that is the bottom, because as soon as it passed it, I mean, it was up to $6,500 earlier today, $6,550. Yeah. Now we're back down to 63.34 is what I'm sitting at right now on mine.
Yeah. So, looking at that, last week we were at 7,383. So we were about $1,000, or excuse me, 2 weeks ago, we were $1,000 higher. And, the week before that, we were $1,000 higher than that. So we did get up to about 8,200, at least according to my Wednesday charts. But Bitcoin dominance has really taken over. I mean, the altcoins were really suffering. They were really taking a loss, hitting hard.
Right.
We've gone from 48.7 2 weeks ago to 53.4% Bitcoin dominance. I think we're going to see a little bit more of that too. People are, as the market continues, the altcoins are probably going to keep getting trashed on a little bit. And as people get back in, the way they get back in is through Bitcoin.
Right.
So we'll see
that's
Bitcoin go higher before it's lower.
Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, we're going to see Bitcoin dominance for a long time, really. We're going to see that higher dominance percentage right now. So,
yeah. That's a lot.
Yeah.
5% of the market it's gained on it. So, which, looking at the at Bitcoin's market cap is 108, almost 109 billion right now. So it is 4 times more than Ethereum right now. So the altcoins were really down. They're all down. Looks like there's quite a few down right now, but there's actually quite a bit of green today, this morning, and going on. It looked like maybe we were turning the corner. And
it was after that major Bitcoin dip where we passed 6,000, everything dropped. The thing is, Bitcoin didn't drop percentage wise as much as most. Bitcoin was down like 6%, 7%, something like that. And then you saw all these other altcoins down 20%. So, they were getting hit quite a bit more than what Bitcoin was. But,
and you take something that's at a penny and loses 10%. Well, now it's at, 0.9 of a penny. That would be a huge drop. 10% would be a huge drop for Bitcoin.
Right.
So, but we've seen it too. I mean, we've seen it go down 10%. We've seen it go up 10%. So you never know. I do see Electroneum has kind of been. It's actually grown. It got a little bit better. It dropped to the mid 6s, about 6.5, 6.4, or something like that, I believe. Tenths of a cent. And now it's just barely under 7. It did go up to 0.0073 or 74 today. So it's down a little bit currently, but it's not, one of the things I was listening to today is it's easy to tell that Electroneum is on its own. It's not tied to Bitcoin, where we used to see Bitcoin drop, the markets would drop the same percentage and stuff like that. And Bitcoin has dropped a little bit more than Electroneum. So
yeah,
it's good to see if it's staying on.
This is where the community comes in too. And we've talked about how there needs to be other pairings on exchanges. And so a lot of this has been going on for a few months now, but like the main guys that are over on YouTube that basically are talking about, we need to stop the manipulation, get us away from Bitcoin, ask for pairings. So if you're using certain exchanges like Cryptopia, then go and ask for a pairing to be put on with other coins that you like. So whatever their base pairs are, that really helps is when you get it paired with other base pairs. But any pairings that they do have, so where you can exchange it back and forth. So say Electronium with, let's just pull one up here with Neo, or something along those lines. Basically, it takes the manipulation opportunity or option, I should say, from Bitcoin.
Right.
So whatever Bitcoin's doing, that makes it affect Electronium. So anyway, that's what happened, and so that's why we've started to space ourselves a little bit from Bitcoin, is because of the community basically rallying after we realized that there needs to be more pairs out there to stop the manipulation. So
yeah, and I saw that the Electronium Litecoin pairing was actually doing pretty good on Cryptopia when I was watching it.
Yeah.
Compared to the Bitcoin one. So
there has been a lot of interest in Litecoin. I think that's helped out quite a bit too.
Man, is it super low or what?
It is. $50.
Litecoin and Ethereum are super cheap right now. It's amazing. In fact, yesterday was we were talking about this, Vance and I, and it was Ethereum was around $250 something, right?
$253 is what it was at.
And then it jumped up to 280 something, and right now it's currently 285.
Yeah.
But man, 250 yesterday.
Yeah. I just look at Litecoin at 55 and I realized I'm like, there's a zero missing off of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I mean, it was the same time last year that it was around 40, 45, $50, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, it is way low. And it should be $1,000 coin.
It should be. I mean, Ethereum's a $1,000 coin. We know that they surpassed it. They were like $1,200, but yeah, I mean, Litecoin should usually be a $500 coin. That's where it's so crazy. So I mean, it's like blood in the water. People should be buying. People should be buying this stuff. But the reason why it's so low is because people are selling.
Yep.
They're not taking a loss. I mean, depending when you bought this, even if you bought it last year, you bought it at 45, you're selling it at 55 for Litecoin, still making a profit off of it. But boy,
why sell it that cheap, right?
What a profit you just lost too. So by selling,
well, it's funny because it's we're talking about Electronium a little bit, and it's under a penny, and there are so many sell orders for it right now, and it's like, why are people selling this at under a penny? You know? Why is that price being manipulated so much to stay under the penny? I don't get it.
The thing is, there's more and more people using the mobile miner, and basically they're getting free coin. And this is where I really think there needs to be some regulation on this. They need to be making it harder and harder to get that. But I don't know. They're trying. That's part of their social media experiment, is getting people to use the coin by giving it away. But the fact is, we're in a bear market. We're devaluing it more and more by doing that. So, when the market turns, we'll see. Once they start their marketing and actually have everybody using it on mobile channel, mobile carriers and things like that, that'll change. But right now, it just feels like keep limiting how many coin people can do on this free mobile mining. So and that's the thing. I mean, they're actually getting rid of the mobile mining anyway to go to cloud mining. So that was one thing that we could have talked about last week. That came out last week, is they're actually dealing with the cloud mining platform, and which will work for both Android and iOS.
Right.
So that's how they're getting around that, because last week Google announced that there's no more mobile mining apps on their platform either. So mobile mining apps are going away. Now, we don't really fall under mobile mining, because the fact is it's simulated mining, and they understand that. But Els talked about that this iCloud platform that they'd be going on would work for both. So, and if you haven't seen it, there was All About Tech did go meet with Richard Els. He went and toured the Electronium facility over in London and had a really nice interview. with Richard. He broke it up into 5 or 6 parts, and he posted them like one a day all last week. They're about 15 minutes each. They're not long.
Right.
But if you have a chance, go watch the videos. I mean, they are pretty good, I think. Richard hints about a lot of stuff. Talks about how Electroneum is coming out with their own Fiverr platform where everything's paid for in cryptocurrency. I actually think today there was an announcement today that there's another platform that just came out. Let's see here.
I saw that.
$5bucks.com.
Right? $5bucks.com.
$5bucks.com, I think is what it was. Pull it up here. I actually posted it in the Facebook pages, guys. So any of you in Electronium Millionaires Club or in the Crypto Millionaires Club groups and stuff, it would have been posted up in there. So you can go take a look. But I'm trying to pull it up. Anyway, a little article.
I think $5 is 5 is spelled out, I believe, too, right?
Yeah, $5bucks.com, and it is spelled out. Basically, they're using Bitcoin Cash. So their marketplace for people who have basically services. Like you want someone to code you an app, or you want someone to build you a web page, or you have you want a company logo. So it's just like Fiverr. I mean, it's exactly like Fiverr. It's just called $5. It's a different one. Anyway, their marketplace is powered by Bitcoin Cash. So now you can use Bitcoin Cash to do that. And that's what one of the things Richard Ells was talking about in his little interview is they actually have a platform coming out. That's going to be
what they call it? What they call that?
Rendered. What's that?
Gigs. What they call that? Gig something? Gig something.
So, yeah, I don't. It's in that interview. I didn't write it down, but it's not out yet. It's not going to be out.
Right.
I think they said they were going to launch it September. Is when they're launching it,
along with several other things, right?
Right. So they're hopefully the mobile app and everything for iOS is going to be launched around the same time because it is an app. So the platform is an app. But basically, you'll be able to pay for the services and everything with crypto through their instant pay network that they're going to have set up at the same time because they are doing the beta testing on that. So there was a lot that was actually covered. The last interview I thought was the most interesting from Els, and I had a list of things that I had written down because that's when he started hinting at a lot of stuff. But it was I thought it was quite interesting because during the interview that he was asked, basically, on users, what he thought about user base and stuff like that, what kind of the future of what they were looking for, how many users they were looking to bring in. And it was kind of funny in a roundabout way. He said, well, we have 2 million users right now, 2 million registered users of Electroneum. Yeah. Okay. And he goes, and this is what Richard Ells direct comes out and says, this isn't even registering for me. So 2 million users is nothing. It's not even a drop in the bucket to him. He goes, when we start hitting tens of millions, when we're up to the hundreds of millions, then I'll take notice. That means we're doing our job. So that's not a little forecasting from Richard Ells for you, what they're looking at doing. I mean, that's how far, and who knows how far in the future that is. He didn't put a time frame on it, but he did say that that's the framework, that's the groundwork that they're building right now, is for hundreds of millions of users to be able to do this.
Right.
So
that
gives you a little foresight.
That's something that, you're right. They've been doing the groundwork on. I know they've got a couple of certifications or something they need to do so they can be compliant with the mobile carriers and stuff like that. But they're working on that, and they expect that to be completed fairly soon. So I think a lot of things we've talked about are going to start happening in September. And people wonder, why don't they start their marketing? Why don't they get going on that?
Why start your marketing in a bear market?
A bear market, yeah. I mean, market's going down. Let's start it once the market starts rebounding and people are putting more money into Bitcoin and stuff. And so, and people get excited about it. Right now, people aren't excited about it. It's a down market.
Yeah, there's just not excitement anywhere. That's the thing.
Yeah.
There's just not excitement anywhere in the crypto market. It's just because people are so tired of being beat down for it the last 8 months. It's a little hard to have your raw spirit behind things.
Yeah.
And it may take Wall Street to come in and change that, which is going to be happening. The Dow announced that they're going to be their crypto exchange comes out in November. That's when it goes live. So, I mean,
wow. I didn't hear that yet.
Yeah, but that's when we're going to start seeing stuff. We've got New York Stock Exchange, the Dow, the Boston Stock Exchange, Chicago Stock Exchange. They've all got their own. Basically, they're all getting their own crypto exchanges to be on the market later this year. That's what they're all working towards. That's why the New York Stock Exchange is on the ETF bandwagon right now, or actually it's the parent company that owns the New York Stock Exchange. That's why they're working on the ETF there, and all of them will be. It's not just going to be the New York Stock Exchange. It's going to be all of them are going to be going in for ETFs. We don't hear about exchanges outside the U.S. because here in the U.S., most of our news for crypto is U.S. based. But I mean, this week we got announced that the Jamaican Stock Exchange, I didn't even know they had one. But the Jamaican Stock Exchange is bringing out their own crypto exchange. So I thought that was quite interesting, and I don't know, was that one the one I told you, Brian, that actually they're talking about being able to release their own ICO?
I don't remember if it was Jamaica or not.
Have I told you that?
When I think of Jamaica, I just think of bobsledding. So
I thought that too, but the thing is that they actually have a stock exchange. They are converting, or they're adding in a platform to that exchange to do crypto. And supposedly they're going to have the ability to do an ICO as well. So that I thought that was quite interesting. Tokyo Stock Exchange has been in the news the last few days too, that there's actually been crypto companies there trying to take over regular companies on the Tokyo Stock Exchange. So that's a whole other ball game that's going on over there. So I mean, there's quite a few different things going around exchanges right now out there. Bittrex has been trying to get approved in all 50 states here in the U.S. And they're using USD. They're taking fiat. So I know for a fact I have a Bittrex account, and I got an email earlier the end of last week that said that they're now approved for fiat currency here in the state of Arizona, where I live. So they're going state by state. They're trying to hit all 50 states. So
and that's just for the fiat portion, right?
That's for the fiat portion. So now
they're in all 50 states now, aren't they?
They are. And they're adding XRP as a base pair. So I know we've kind of hinted at some stuff with the XRP in the past, but in the last 2 weeks, the amount of news on XRP is actually staggering. With Ripple. So they're going after almost every exchange out there to try and get Ripple as a base pair. And we kind of talked about this before. DCX anyway, is a new US based exchange that just opened up right down the street from Coinbase, and they are putting XRP as their base pair. So there's been a few things that have come out on that. But if you wanted to look up Ripple, I mean, there's the amount of information coming from Ripple right now is crazy.
Yeah, I expect a lot of big things out of Ripple, and the price has been crazy on Ripple. I mean,
it was down 25 cents,
28 cents right now.
28. It was down. It was 24 cents.
25. 24.
Yeah, it was at 24 cents when Bitcoin hit its bottom. Or I guess it would have been late Monday night or early Tuesday morning. But anyways, when they bottomed out, so did XRP. So they were like at 24 cents.
Yeah,
but
so
there's a lot
cheap.
Yeah, a lot going on there. I know that right now there's two Swiss bank accounts, and supposedly, I'm trying to think there. I just heard of a third bank account, but 2 bank accounts in Switzerland are now. One of them, I think, is already doing it. Is opening up basically crypto accounts that you can put right alongside with your fiat account. There's a second Swiss bank doing the same thing. The first one, of course, was the German bank that TokenPay took over, or didn't take over, but bought into, with Litecoin now, and Litecoin's in that as well. But basically, they're trying to get this set up to do accounts now. I don't know how that's going to work. I really don't. Whether it's a wallet account that's owned by the bank that you hold your money in, I don't know. I don't have a Swiss bank account, so it's not something I've known much about.
It could be very similar to like Coinbase or any of these exchanges. I mean, when you're making trades on the exchanges, you're not actually affecting the blockchain at all until you withdraw that money from the exchange. And that, so it's kind of like putting your money into a bank, and it's sitting there, and you might do different things with it or whatever, but it doesn't actually, doesn't change your account until like I can move money from one account to the other account and things like that. It doesn't do much. Once I take it out of the bank, it's off their system, so.
Right. And I just found, I had written it down. The third bank is actually a new bank in Austria. Okay. That's opening up, and it's a pure crypto bank.
Oh, wow.
So that was the third bank. I couldn't remember what it was, but it's in Austria is the third bank. And it's going to be it's actually going to be the first all crypto bank.
Very cool. Yeah. Now, do you think they need a brick and mortar building for that, or is that something I could maybe do right out of my office here?
Who knows? But
I mean, it's a lot lighter than
in the U.S. It's going to be completely different from Australia or Austria, not Australia, Austria. But the fact is,
Austria, mate.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though: an all crypto bank. Now, here's where people are going to be able to. I need a car loan. I need a home loan. I need a business loan, and I want it in crypto. That's where this is going to start coming from, directly from the banks.
Interesting. Now, what if and we've talked about, what's the other one? Salt. I think Salt lending or whatever is one that if you have crypto, you can borrow against it without having to sell your
I know
crypto.
Alexa does that.
Is that the Google thing?
No, Alexa, OLXA.
OLXA. Yeah, we haven't talked about that for quite a while. I wonder.
Yeah, I haven't followed up on them in quite a while, but they've had that. They've actually had that since February. So that's actually been a live product of theirs since February, and that's when they started their ICO, was like the end of January, 1st of February, and they weren't getting a lot of play, but they already had all these products out. I mean, if you want to talk about the top 4 items that we talk about when looking at an ICO, they had already cleared the fact that they already developed and built their product, and they just were trying to get an ICO started to back it. And there just wasn't, I mean, people were getting suckered into titanium at the same time, there was much bigger projects out there that were on the forefront, and they just fell behind because they're a smaller company out of Egypt. But the fact is they still release their product. It's still available. And they have a few other products to go along with it. So whether they needed money off of the ICO, I don't know how much they raised, but I know as a company they're making money because of the products that they already had. So, but
I don't know if you've looked at them lately, but they look like they're out of business.
Are they? Did you look them up?
I'm just kidding. I was just trying to find them.
No,
I'm just wondering if you'd actually looked at them.
I know their Telegram group is really active. I still get little pop-ups from that all the time.
My computer's just a little slow tonight, so
yeah. But no, I mean that was some of the stuff I wanted to talk about last week. Now this week, our market's lower than it has been. We had the ETF that people have been talking about for the 30th now. So the next time the ETF goes to the SEC is on the 30th. So that's 2 weeks from tomorrow. They do have the option to push it back again, and this will be the second time. And Brian, we talked about this a little bit more, but
second or third time.
They actually it's the second time. They have the option to do it 3 times though. So if they push it back this time, it'll go up for review in November. I think is what they said. They could push it to November off the side. I think it was the furthest.
Okay,
but then they
right.
could, but then they could push it again till basically January of 2019. So depending on how much the SEC wants to flex their muscle, they could push any ETF right now. The soonest we could get an ETF, if they push it off as much as they could, would be to the beginning of 2019. And I know there's a lot of these investment companies that are kind of waiting to see how this plays out. To tell you the truth, this is where a lot of the Wall Street money, the big time money, the trillions of dollar money, investment money
this is where I think there can be a little bit of manipulation as well, and I think the SEC people could be in on it as well. Just making sure the timing is right. It's going to happen, but
it will happen.
Make sure it's right for us. And so,
right. But the thing is, here's the thing, though. It's not just the U.S. I mean, there are financial regulatory in every country, right?
Right.
And some of the bigger countries out there that are doing crypto have the ability to. They could say, "Oh, we'll do an ETF. We have no problem." So for their stock exchanges, I mean, we talk about our stock exchanges. There are plenty of other exchanges. We're talking about the Tokyo Exchange earlier. I mean, that's a fairly large stock exchange. So
right.
What are they doing, right? What about England? So it's like there's quite a few other countries out there that are going to beat us to the punch on this. Again, this is where the United States is falling behind in the crypto world, but we're going to see more come. It just may not see it here. So, which is fine. It's a global thing anyway. So
that's true. I mean, but we do tend to lead, so
we do
either lead or we get left behind,
Well, we used to lead in a lot of things. Now, manufacturing, we don't anymore. It's over in China. So we lost that. I mean, that's how we are.
Yeah.
We have too much political influence on stuff before we can make a decision, and then half the time we'll just lose out because of it.
Right.
Because no one can make a decision.
And that's the hard thing with the SEC. I mean, we don't really want government involved in this type of stuff, but it's going to have to be, and we want the money. We want that money to come in as well, because it's going to benefit us tremendously.
Oh, yeah, that's where.
So it's kind of a catch-22.
Here's the thing. Last year, if you had invested early last year, you could have been rich by the end of the year, right?
Yeah.
But then since that time, the whole crypto world has changed. I mean, completely changed. China's out. How much money left? Because that's where a majority of the money came from.
Yeah.
China's out. I mean, they're still humming and hawing. They keep, we're going to be back in a little bit, but no, maybe not. I mean, even South Korea was talking about making changes again today. So it's one of those things where every country's in some type of fluctuation going on with this, because why it's so big, it's impacted the entire global economy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's seriously what we're looking at here. Okay. Let's talk about Venezuela for a second. We brought them up 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. We've talked about it a few times on the last couple of shows. But Venezuela is such a volatile state country because their fiat currency devalues exponentially.
Every day. People get paid in it and they spend it right away so that it doesn't devalue.
Right, so. because they know it's going to be worthless literally by the next day. Okay, so we've talked about this a little bit. Well, this week, already on Monday, Venezuela has come out with a second currency. How many times has this happened with the country? I mean, they've changed currencies before, but now they have two currencies, which the second one, the new one that's out, they're trying to tie to the oil, basically the oil prices of their country. because
Right.
they are a very large oil producing country, but it's all owned by the leaders in the government. I mean, they're the ones who control everything. So, but basically now they've released a second currency and said this is now the government currency that you'll use. So, what happened to all the currency that's been devaluing that they're using that they've been using? It's just gone. Now it's going to be worthless. I mean, they're both there. You can still take both if you want, but the government just said this is now the government money. This is the new money, and it's tied to the oil price. So,
and now your bars and T-bars are no good.
Yeah. Well, now this is the T-bar to your bar.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, it'll end up being a disaster, I'm sure.
Right. And this is what we've talked about before. This is where a country really, really, really needs crypto. They need Bitcoin in their community. They need Ethereum. They need Litecoin in this country just to freaking give it a backbone to stand on. You know, it just fathoms me that countries can be like that. Isn't I don't know. I mean, we're too sheltered here in the US, to tell you the truth.
And I think we looked that up a week or two ago, and it was the Bolivar or whatever is their coin, right, or their money.
And it's now called, and the new one is the Bolivar, right? But it's
Bolivar, like Petro or something.
Or Petro, or yeah, something along that lines. It's the same name, but it's tied to the oil production. So Petro
or something. Doesn't that mean oil or gas?
Probably oil.
Petro. Yeah. So the Bolivar, Petro.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's not good over there. People need a little bit of. I mean, cryptocurrency would be is very volatile, but it would be probably nice for them. You know, because at least they would be able to store it somewhere without losing. You know, it might lose a little bit of value, but the next day it might gain more value. You know.
Right. So, and the fact is now it's a global currency, and you know, it was kind of funny. There was an interview that came out earlier this week, with the author of the Rich Dad Poor Dad,
Kiyosaki or something.
Yeah. Anyway, he talked about how, you know, in our economy and the world, we basically have three types of currency. Okay, and now we have three types of currency. The first currency was considered God's currency, and that was gold and silver, and that's what was originally our currency to trade and barter with. Okay, basically, you know, the beginning of time, whatever. Right. You know, first of all, it would have been food and pelts and all that stuff. We were all cavemen, but basically, after we evolved, it was silver. It was metals, fine metals. Okay. Well, then, secondly, then we had what's the government money, which was fiat, and mainly, to tell you the truth, that was the U.S. dollar. Was the government money, and that was what every government kind of bounced against. Based against was the U.S. dollar. Okay, that's leaving. We're seeing that already. That on a global scale, that's not the case anymore. And he goes, now we have cryptocurrency, which is the people's money. So we've taken that out of the government's hand and put into our own. And he said that's the true currency, the true worth of what the world is going to see is what cryptocurrency is going to be worth. So basically, talking about Bitcoin. And then he went on further to say that the government money, when people talk about, fiat versus crypto and crypto's a scam, he basically came out and said, no, government money's the scam, especially with the U.S. dollar, where last week the U.S. Mint just printed off another $1 trillion. And it's not backed by anything because we don't back it again. Yeah, we don't have the gold standard anymore. So it's not backed on anything. And this is why you see where other countries are like, no, we don't think. I mean, they're going away from basically the U.S. standard of the USD because of that.
And I find it really funny too, because I get asked this all the time. Well, what Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, what is it backed by? What's the benefit of things like that? And I say, well, what's the U.S. dollar backed by? Well, gold.
Yeah.
No, it's not backed by gold.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
not.
if it was backed by gold, we wouldn't be trillions of dollars in debt.
Exactly. Deficit
So
spending.
the benefit is it is money. It is a way of purchasing things peer to peer. Vance and I can do business without having to deal with a bank or anybody else. We could be in different countries, and we can instantaneously transfer money, value for something. That's why
Right.
this, this $5 or the electronic one, like the Fiverr. This is going to allow. I just been looking at it a little bit. It looks to me like everything on there is about $5.
Yeah, that's kind of the seems to they basically copied Fiverr and made it
yeah.
crypto. Okay, and that's exactly what Els was saying he was doing, is they were building a platform just like Fiverr that would accept Electronium and any cryptocurrency that would be on their instant payment app.
Right.
Okay,
but it's cool. I'm looking at this one. I'm just gonna throw it up here for a second.
Okay.
It's kind of funny because let me get rid of this. But it says, I will make a cartoon picture of yourself. So you can send him a picture, and this guy will make a cartoon out of it. Which, it's all hand drawn. It's not digital or anything like this. But you notice right here that he's in Vietnam. So he's one of these that could be, just a guy that's learned how to do a little bit of digital stuff, and now they've made it possible for him to sell his product and to with cryptocurrency and to be able to
with Bitcoin
store
Cash.
that.
Yeah,
exactly. So it's a great idea, and that's what Els was talking about in those videos. If you go look at that, all about tech, he's talking about these people in these countries that don't have banks, the unbanked and stuff. Don't have a way to store money or create. This is going to give a lot of these people a way to create an income, and also talked about getting people being able to buy a laptop or some type of thing and learn how to do these trades, for very minimal amounts of money, but then be able to have a platform where they can sell these trades, where they can sell little things, composed music or cartoons or whatever, we're always looking for somebody to do that kind of stuff.
Right. But it's not about cheap labor. That's the thing. It's not about cheap labor, because you got to understand, $5 to them in their country is like $500 to us here in the US. Right. I mean, there's a huge difference in cost of living. Okay. So that goes a lot further for them, that $5. That's just a way for them to be on the same playing field as the rest of the world, really, when it comes to pay.
Right. That little figure right there costs you $30 at Disneyland. So
you think it's that cheap? I'll bet it's more.
Yeah. Well, that's $30 a person. So, it's going to cost a bundle.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, it's something that, it's, because graphic artists, it's, sometimes it's hard to get stuff drawn up what you need and in a timely manner and for a reasonable price. And if you're just starting out in business and need a logo or whatever, then that's why, Fiverr and stuff has become so popular, because you can do things, and even the intro music and things like that I think you maybe picked up for this video on YouTube and stuff. It's an easy way to get some things done. So, and there's people out there that can do it and are eager to do it. And like you said, $5 to them is a lot of money,
Right. So. And that's the thing, though, is now, instead of having how do they sell that in their local community? It's really what you're coming down to. How do you sell this in my local community? And who knows in Vietnam? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. I've never been there. I don't know what the community is like, how you can sell something like that. But now you have the ability to reach out to the world, and since you're not worrying about it, and this is what the part I love about it is, even on Fiverr, if someone does it, you have to get paid in U.S. currency. Okay, so you're paying them in USD, US fiat, okay, to do this on Fiverr. Well, now, and the thing is, I know that fiat USD is supposed to be the kind of like this world currency type of deal, but it's not. Okay, how are they going to spend it? Do they have to convert it? What will the store down the street that they need to go get groceries from going to take it? I don't know. Okay, but we look at what Richard Dell's is trying to do. He's trying to get everybody to use the same currency, so that's why there's no changing of government monies anymore. It's now we're using Bitcoin Cash. Okay. And we know Bitcoin Cash is global.
Yep.
That's where it makes it a little easier for global society to come together on stuff like this. So, but that's where we're talking about mass adoption and social acceptance of this stuff. You know, so yeah. I mean, I see a lot of, I see a lot of benefit coming out of this, but it's helping change. It's helping acceptance and helping change crypto. You know, and that's where last week it was really apparent to me, and I mentioned this to you, Brian, but it was really apparent to me that, okay, as down as much as the crypto market is, the increase in interest in crypto is just, I mean, the scales are just crazy, right? So why is it that there's so much down in the market? Because people are selling and scared to get out. And it's because why? Media tells you it's bad. Don't do it. You know, you got big time investors saying no, but then on the other hand, they're buying it themselves, right? And that's where the manipulation comes from. And they've done this. This is where the media is in holding hands with the billionaires, the people that run the world, basically, the wealth that runs the world. But this is what we're starting to see again, is that the banks and the media are saying, no, don't buy crypto. It's too risky. Don't do it. So people freak out, they get scared, and they sell. And they're taking their money out and putting it back into USD or fiat somewhere. Right. Okay. And then suddenly you see the coin or the market cap drops. You know, the coin that you like the most is being devalued and all this stuff. I mean, that's where we're seeing a lot of this. It's not just here in the US, but I mean, it's in a lot of different countries. I mean, that's where we're dealing with the China stuff again, and we're dealing with, you know, South Korea and everything else. Okay. But then you see all the interest coming from the government. You see the SEC taking an interest in this and saying, no, it's good. We need to regulate. We know the chair of the SEC is completely for crypto. She wants crypto in and wants it now, but she's not the only one making that decision. So we see that. We see Wall Street. We see the big exchanges. We see the big investment houses. They're all talking about it. Now, you tell me, why would stock exchanges be talking about adding crypto exchanges? And then on the other hand, everybody else saying, no, it's a bad investment. Don't do it. So why would they do it?
Well, and it's funny too, because a year ago, they were all trashing Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies.
Oh yeah, we want nothing to do with it.
I mean, they were trying to kill it, and I think they figured out we can't kill it. So if we can't kill it, let's get in it and make some money.
Right.
So
that's. But on the other hand, too, I think they're seeing the future right now. There's a huge economic downfall coming soon. There's going to be a huge change in our economy soon, and it's because of how much debt, unsecured debt, is going on out there in the world. I mean, in 2008 we had the housing crisis. It's basically because the banks and everybody were artificially inflating the prices of homes, and people were buying into it and then couldn't pay it, and we defaulted. Everybody was defaulting, okay, on the homes, because why? They were just extremely overvalued, and no one could pay the prices on them. Okay, yeah, even to rent them, you couldn't pay to rent them, and that's why the people that owned them lost them. Okay, that was 10 years ago. Now we're 2018, and what's happened? The stock market's down. Where's the crisis coming from? Well, it's unsecured debt. It's credit card debt. Credit card debt's at an all-time high. What else is out there that's unsecured debt? Well, government debt. We already know deficit spending is at all-time high. But what about loans? And I'm not talking like in loans against your vehicle or against your house. Let's talk about education loans. Let's talk about student loans. Let's talk about for-profit universities that have doubled the cost of education in our country because they know they can. Basically, they're forcing the government to lend more money. Yeah. They know they can do it. Okay. I'm talking about Grand Canyon University. I'm talking about University of Phoenix, DeVry, all these for-profit schools out there, basically. And to tell you the truth, those are the big ones. All the little ones took the money and then claimed bankruptcy and closed down. So there's a staggering amount of education debt in the U.S. Because why? Most of the world, and I'm not talking about England but I'm talking about basically not first world countries. What do they want to do? They want to send their offspring, their children, to the United States to study in our schools. Because why? They're supposed to be the best, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we say anyway. They're supposed to be the best. So what happens? They come here. Now, where does that debt come from? A lot of times they're on a scholarship or something along that times, but at least if we're talking about for people coming from other countries, but a lot of times they're not. They're here. They're like, how do I do this? And the government goes, we'll give you some federal student loans. Or if not, we have private student loans that you can pull out as well. And guess what? You don't have to pay them back while you're in school, but then when you're out, they're going to hit you for them. And then suddenly people realize, wow, $60,000 in debt for a business degree from a for-profit school. How am I supposed to pay this back? It's, I mean, there's a lot of debt out there, not just credit card debt, but we're talking student loan debt, education debt, and all that's where our next financial crisis is going to come from. It's going to come from a mixture of all this unsecured debt that's out there. It's not the housing. I mean, we are seeing housing has gone up over the last couple of years. We're back to being inflated again. That's calming off a little bit this year. We've seen because interest rates have jumped so much. Because why? The stock market's down. So where are the banks going to make their money up? But the stock market's down. They're not getting the return on their investment that way. They're going to make you pay for it. You want a house? You want a car? Well, guess what? Interest rates are double what they were 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So they're that's where they're making their money. But that's at the same time, they're putting you, the consumer, in more debt. And are you going to be able to pay it? Most likely not.
No.
You're going to default on it. And then who's held with the money? Who's held trying to collect the money? But all this debt is going to be our next nation crisis, basically, when it comes to the economy. So, and anyway, that's my harp tonight. But
you're right.
But that's where I'm seeing it. That's where I'm seeing it coming. And everybody keeps talking about, we see all the big guys out there, the big, analyst guys that everybody's watching on CNN or basically like the Willy Woo guy or Rich Dad Poor Dad, right? These guys know, they watch the economic, up and downs all the time. They look at it. That's what they do. They're analysts. That's what they're teaching you about, right? That's why you're paying them, is to learn more, as stuff like that. But the thing is, they know, and they're telling us, guys, there's going to be a change. There's going to be an economic crash. It's coming from somewhere. We see it coming. That's why we're in a recession right now in 2018. The stock market's in a recession right now. We see this. We see things happening. Where's it coming from? You may want to look at alternative means to put your money somewhere else, especially with the fact that the US dollar is being devalued because they're just printing it off more and more and more in deficit spending, and other countries not really behind it anymore or not following it anymore. I mean, we're not a global economy anymore when it comes to the US dollar like we used to be. Okay. So where are you going to turn? Well, guess what? You can get gold, get God's currency, or you're going to have the people's currency, which is finite, right? We already know it's finite. There's a limited amount. You can't keep reproducing it over and over and over again. Bitcoin's only going to have 21 million coins. That's it. Electronium's only going to have what did we say? Is it 19 billion? I don't remember. Anyway, it seems like
I can't remember.
Yeah, but I mean, every cryptocurrency out there has a finite amount. There's only a certain amount that's going to be around. So it can't be devalued.
21 billion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or 21 billion. Okay, so it can't be. But anyway, a cryptocurrency can't be devalued because why? Electronium is going to go produce more ETN. Okay, Litecoin is going to go produce more LTC. Okay, it's just not going to happen. So the value there is it's going to maintain, and when more people start using it, it actually becomes a real currency for everyday use, like going to Starbucks and buying your coffee with Electronium or Bitcoin or whatever it is that they're going to be taking, because it will happen, guys.
Right.
Maybe not in the next couple of years, but who knows? By the end of 2020, who knows who's going to be taking what? Especially with Richard Ells coming out with his platform and his merchant services terminals to be able to accept any crypto that they want. Okay.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, there are huge changes coming, and that's why we're saying you need to be in. This is why Charlie Lee says everybody needs to go buy one Bitcoin right now. Everybody needs to have one Bitcoin in their portfolio right now, because once this whole economic change happens and the U.S. fiat is gone, or not gone, but it's devalued so much that people are going to the people's currency into crypto, that the value of this stuff is going to go exponentially through the roof, and especially with large buyers, large investors, stock exchanges, investment groups, hedge funds buying it up, because that's who's buying it now. You're selling it, someone's buying it really cheap.
And this is what millennials want. They want to be able to go to the store, and they want to be able to pay with their phone, and they want to be able to do things without ever going to a bank or having to deal with that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
You know? And so that's where I think people, people are missing it, is that this is the millennials. This is what they want. This is how it's going to go. And it's easier, and they like easy, but it's interesting. I had a comment. You were just talking about something, and I lost my train of thought. It must be after 10 o'clock.
It is. But
yep.
Listen, guys, we try and do an hour every Wednesday, just with basically the new news that's out, everything that's happening in the crypto world. I mean, literally, we could do this every night if we wanted to, but we try and choose to bring this to you once a week. We'll do it. We're doing this on Facebook, is where we go live. We save these and we put them up on YouTube later. So if you're listening to this later on YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe, and that way you'll know every time we're doing this on Wednesdays. So, but listen, we're just trying to give you our ideas, our thoughts on crypto. We're not professional investors. We're nothing like that. So take everything we say, of course, with a grain of salt. Do your own research. But we do have some skin in the game. So we want to know as best as possible what's going on, just with our own money, really, with our own investments. So, but we're here to stay. We know that the technology is here to stay, and so we're following it. We're staying with it. We're not getting out, especially not when it's down.
Yep. So, like Vance says, they get loaded on YouTube and stuff. We're also got our Crypto Millionaires Club page on Facebook. So, join us there, like it, join it. We'd love to have you.
Quite a few other groups underneath of it. We've tried to set up some groups for the top coins that are out there. So, kind of like your top 10 coins, things that have good following. So, if you're interested, go look at the groups. So, basically, go to the Crypto Millionaires page. Then go to the groups. Like we said, there's like 10, 11 groups there for different coins. And basically, we just try and put up news from different coins. So if something comes out about Tron, we try and put it in the Tron group. If something comes out for Electronium, of course, it's in the Electronium group. So if you're interested in those coins, go join those groups. You're welcome to go participate, post things up. We always want group participation and everything, because we're not the end all. We just see what we see and we report it to you, is basically what happens. So if you've got something new that comes up, feel free to go post it up and let's talk about it. Bless you. So again,
sorry,
we go live we're actually changed this. So we're going live out of the Crypto Millionaires Club page. And then we share it to all the groups. So if you're following us, you go on the Crypto Millionaires page, post up questions, things like that. That's where it's going to be live.
That's right. Okay. Well, I thank everybody for joining us tonight. Sorry we missed you last week, but like Vance said, every Wednesday night we will be on here, and you can catch those videos afterwards. So we hope everybody has a great week. We hope crypto moons this week because it's Lambo time. And
right.
If not,
we're getting there.
We'll be back
we're
talking
getting there.
About it next week. So,
yeah.
Anyways,
thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Have a good week, guys. See you. Thanks, Vance. Bye.